What's good everyone, it's your boy yadiiiigg, 4 eyes, 2 G's here, and today we're here to talk about the recent news from Billboard that no more merch and ticket bundles will count towards their sales and charts. Now I just want to say off the bat, this is complete BS. I've seen a lot of people talking about it, saying, well, Billboard are doing the right thing, etc, etc. No, they are not. This is another example of media manipulation and smoke and mirrors within the music industry, and I'm gonna lay it down. Let's get into it.
I'm gonna pull it to the pump. When I'm off the Henny, might as well say something dumb. I put my bitch in Marnie and she only wear it once. Don't come at me crazy, I might fuck around a buck. Ashing on Margiela like it doesn't cost a buck. I be up in the club tryna fuck a good thing up.
Okay, quickly, just off the bat, at yadiiiigg, if you don't follow your boy on Instagram, go ahead, drop me a follow, comment on this post, show love. I got the CDG, got the acne, got the golfs, say dripping down. Go check it out if you don't, but let's get into it. So the news comes out yesterday, or I think it may have been today, that quote, Billboard announces new chart rules, no more merch and ticket bundles. Of course, the whole merch and ticket bundles has been a huge discussion within the community for a long time. I don't need to introduce that. People manipulating sales by using these tactics right here. Now, before we read the article and break down exactly what the changes are, I just want to look at the media coverage of this because this is super revealing. Now look what NME had to say. Billboard reveals new chart rules doing away with merch bundles. Sure they will. Another one on Forbes. Billboard's new merch and ticket bundle rules will devastate a lot of pop artists. That is a lie. Pop artists will continue to eat off ticket, merch bundles and all of that stuff. Okay, lastly, Billboard is no longer counting merch bundle sales for chart results. Now the reason I begin with this is because this is exactly what Billboard want to do. They want to put out this news and act as if they're changing something, so all these different media outlets, which literally every single one has done, will post this and act as if they've changed something because of the wording, when really they've changed the fine details, but the root of the problem is still the same. And even on my recent video yesterday about Smoke Perp, make sure to check that out if you haven't, link in the description, a lot of people came out and said, look, yadiiiigg, they're changing the rules, etc, etc. Okay, now let's hone in on these rules. Okay, firstly, I just want to read this here because this is actually fucking hilarious. Under the new rules, which will be implemented at a start date to be announced. Wow, thanks Billboard. I'm glad you're changing the rules, really doing nothing, and then adding a start date to be announced. Who knows when that start date could be? They could start it in the next financial year, which I'm not sure how it works in the US or Canada or whatever, but in Australia, that's not for another 11 months. They could start it in the next quarter. They could start it 2 years from now. Who knows? But let's keep reading. Okay, all album bundled with either merchandise or concert tickets must be promoted as an add-on to those purchases in order to be counted on the charts. So let's just get this clear what they're saying. They can still count on the charts if it's an add-on purchase. Okay, remember that for a second. Okay, secondly, let's move on to the next statement because this is hilarious. In addition, Billboard will no longer allow sales of physical albums or singles that are bundled with digital downloads to be reported as digital sales, therefore eliminating the practice of non-manufactured items being used to influence first week chart rankings. Full stop. End it right there. That is completely fine. I'm with you, Billboard. Where are you going to go from here? Hopefully it's more rules. Hold up. Only when the physical item, ostensibly what the customer is buying, is shipped, will it be counted in Billboard's official tallies. So they've said one thing here, and then they've gone and added another layer to it where basically you're saying, okay, this is impossible, but if you do this, it's possible. And basically, I'm going to show you guys what this is going to turn into and what this is going to lead to. Okay, this is Smoke Perp's digital site right now where you can buy the merch and digital album or whatever. Look at this. You guys would have seen this before. You guys know what it looks like. Okay, this is what it actually is going to look like in the future. Excuse my poor Photoshop. Instead, this will be a digital album website where it will have a pop-up or an option to add a merch ticket or what have you, which if they choose to add that merch ticket, which might add $5, it might add $10, then if they get that as well, it will be counted. But the big problem with this is nowhere in here does it say anything about prices, anything about discounts, anything about checkout codes or anything like that. So what could, in theory, according to this at least happen, so say I have a digital album that I want to release, right? On my website, I list it for $10, let's say. Then in the description of the website, I say use the checkout code free merch to add a $1 merch piece on top of this, and then you get both for the same price. Of course, who wouldn't want to do that? Remember, this says nothing about the price of the merch, the price of the album, or anything like that. Just as long as they click another item and add that item in, and that item is shipped the same time period, it's counted as a sale towards Billboard. And just quickly guys, before we continue the video, I just want to say please comment and please share this video around. As I've shown you, I've got so many comments and so many DMs about the merch bundles being changed, etc., and the news coverage doesn't help. This information does not get spread because of course it helps the music industry if it isn't. So please share the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that type of stuff. I literally never say this, but please do. Let's continue with the video. Now, to be fair, it might be a little bit more difficult to labels to try to like implement this or organize or market this, but it's basically the same thing. And also, I just wanted to reflect on this one right here. So it goes on to say, only when the physical item is shipped will it be counted towards Billboard's official tallies. The practice of selling vinyl, CDs, and other physical releases that won't be shipped for weeks has become a widespread as of late. The latest rule changes will render that tactic ineffectual. Now, notice this right here. Nowhere in both of these paragraphs does it say tickets or merch pieces. The only thing it says is only when the physical item, which is referencing physical albums or sales, and then it says other physical releases. What are physical releases? Are physical releases considered tickets? Are physical releases considered merch bundles? I don't know. Maybe they are, and maybe I'm wrong in this part right here. But to me, it kind of makes it seem that they're trying to use phrases and terms to hide the fact that ticket sales and merch bundles will still be available even if they're shipped or happen after. Now, you also might be wondering, why are Billboard doing this? And I'm not going to act like I'm some music industry insider or anything like that, but the key point here is them and the labels are both beneficiaries of good numbers and a good relationship. I've brought this up before, but you guys got to remember, primarily at the end of the day, Billboard was and did start as just a news kind of magazine or tabloid or whatever back in the day it was. So they primarily cover news, and then the charts and the sales was just a thing that happened after, and then they just happened to become like the industry's most trusted source, if you will, and the one that gets all the public attention. So at the end of the day, they're a news magazine or website or what have you. And what does every single news place want? Exclusive interviews, exclusive news, exclusive information, etc. Now, how do they get those exclusive interviews and stuff like that? Easy. They have to have a good relationship and a good rapport with artists and with management, etc. Now, how do they establish that good relationship? Well, firstly, the labels and the artists want to look good by Billboard. They want to be promoted well. They want to have a good perception. They don't want the bad news story out there. They want the good news story out there. And what story does Billboard control? They control the charts, the album sales, i.e. the perception of how successful the artist, and by association, how successful the label is. For example, if a label comes out and has 5 artists who all top the charts, guess what? They look pretty good. They're going to get more investment, maybe more bonuses, etc. But on the flip side, if they come out and they bomb the charts and they do terribly, they're probably not going to get their bonuses, or they might get dropped, etc. So essentially, both parties have something to offer that the other party really wants. So on Billboard's side, they have the good numbers, they have the good reporting that they can offer the labels, and on the label side, they have the exclusive information, the exclusive interviews that they can offer Billboard. So if Billboard give them the good numbers, labels give them the good interviews, etc. and then they can get what they want and both be a beneficiary of that relationship, which is why we see reporting like this, and which is why unfortunately it leads to comments like this, because people just read the headlines and what's kind of presented, and then the cycle of the music industry and the smoke and mirrors behind it just continues and continues. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Hopefully you understood what I was saying. Hopefully my accent and my phrasing kind of didn't get in the way. Let me know in the comments. Also, as I said, make sure to share this video, tell a friend, please comment down below. I want this to get as far as possible because, as I said, a lot of people are misinformed right now. And before we finish this video, guys, a couple big shout outs from the Instagram. Big shout out to Ulysses_Lara19, and also shout outs to Anthony Quezada. Big shout out to you guys for following me over my IG. Much appreciated. As I said, if you guys don't follow your boy yadiiiigg, go drop a comment on this, like it, all that good stuff, show your love. Also, like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications, all that good YouTube stuff, and there are more videos of mine on screen right now. Make sure to check them out if you haven't.